Guys, so Jimbo here. Very happy to have you here today. I've got something very cool to show y'all in a minute. In a minute. You see that little big old case box? You know you want to see that. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe to Jimbo TV right now at the beginning, get that over with, and then you'll be ready for the next video that comes out later today, because I'm filming them both. Guys, we're here to talk about something else. A quick video on the American knife company Denali. This is a knife that my good buddy John, who lives just over in the city, lent to me, and I gotta say, I've been enjoying it for way too long. I don't know, when did you drop this over here, man? May? Something like that? And it's already July, it's August now. August already. I've had this basically the whole summer, and I've been using it though. I've been using it. I wanted to test it out. I wanted to get a good opinion on how I really felt about this knife, and I gotta say, I do like it a lot. There's a couple of negatives. We'll go over those at the end, but let's go over some positives first. So I think it is a very useful camp knife. Useful all-around camp knife. You look at a big knife like this and you think, oh, what are you going to do? Chop down a tree with it? And my buddy John made sure to say, hey, you know, it's not a chopper. That's not what I bought it for. I think this actually might have been a gift to him. He said, this is just an all-around camp knife. And so I kind of took that in mind when I was testing and using it out. But, you know, a little bit of chopping comes along with camping, so I made sure to do some of that too. I did some chopping, some batoning, I did some camp, just some around the fire work, preparing some sticks, just whittle them down and make them the right, thickness for marshmallows and hot dogs and all that kind of thing. We had a good time. Put some patina on this guy, flitzed it off already. Definitely put some scuffs on it. I was walking around with it in the sheath, which I actually do like this sheath a lot. Comes with a very nice leather sheath, standard, hiking style, sharpshooter sheaths. The Reed Hiking crew. Big shout out to them. I love their work, and I think he's a funny guy. It was nice to meet him when I was in Michigan. But anyway, it'll hang kind of like that on your belt. And I was walking around with it in my house like this, and you can see a little piece of white chip right there. There's no chip at all. That's actually just white paint from brushing up against a door frame in my house. And we'll put it this way, American Knife Company Denali 1, door frame 0. Took a little chunk out of the door frame, and the beautiful black and scarlet elder burl was completely fine. I don't know if you guys can see this scarlet burl, but it is gorgeous. It's really nice. And it's hard, it's durable. You don't have to worry about this stuff chipping. I put it through the tests. I had fun out there. I didn't baby it. I didn't abuse it like crazy, but I sure did not baby this knife. Let's talk little specs here. It has got and I think my scale has actually been stolen out of this room, taken out to the shop. But it's got just over an 8-inch blade. I think the website said 8.3 if I can remember. I'm seeing just about 8.25 here. I mean, yeah, it looks a little over 8.25. So let's go with the 8.3 that I think I remember. Overall is about 14. Yep. And it's 0.218 on the spine. So it's actually rather a light and nimble knife. It's funny that the Survivor that I had before was a shorter knife with a thicker stock. I mean, it was just kind of a wild knife. This, there's so much variance in what everybody likes and dislikes in a camp knife. Do you like a Kephart style spear point? Do you like more of a drop point like this? There's also the one big chopper kind of camp knife that I still do have is the Golok, which has a completely different type of tip from the factory. It's got this rounded off blunted tip that you can, actually put your finger on. This, if you want to look, this is a real, what you guys start getting into chopper size here. We're talking a 10.5-inch blade. So that, I mean, it also looks like it has about a half inch more handle too, which let's start talking about a couple negatives that I just personally, not my thing on one of them, which is this front finger choil. You've heard me say it before here. If there's going to be a finger choil that's up closer towards the blade, it's got to have some serious protection, and this one in particular really has nothing in the ways of a guard. It's even, it comes down further here than it does here, so you're almost being forced up into the blade with just the way just the way it's going. There's no way for your hand to slip anywhere but towards that blade. So that's not my favorite thing. I would have designed that just a little bit differently. Maybe even if it just had a sharpening notch right there, Anyway, I don't know. To go on to one other thing about the handle, and it's really just the handle that I'm not in love with about this knife. You'll notice here this has a lot more of a Bravo style broomstick handle here, where it has a very swooped butt to it that's going to catch your finger when you go and do a strike and hit something. The way that your hand slides is always down this way, and I really like how this handle style captures your finger. As my buddy John said, this isn't a pure chopper, but there's no reason not to design it for some chopping. And the way that this kind of just goes meh off the side here, it's it does. I'm just letting you know right now, it really does not catch your finger at all. So, or your hand. So you really could feel like the knife, your hand could just be kind of like, and there it goes. So, other than that, I really did enjoy the knife though. One really nice part about it is that although it's branded as American Knife Company, it's made by Bark River. They do this for a couple of different companies. I know I mentioned earlier the Heiken sheaths, the sharpshooter sheaths. They just started making their own knives that are produced by Bark River. Blackjack knives are made by Bark River. These American Knife Company ones are. And it's different than the Canoe, which was an American Knife Company design that they licensed. I mean, this is fully an American Knife Company branded, but they still do a full warranty on it. So if you don't know what that is, Bark River, any knife, if you break it, drop it in the water or sand or whatever, mud, doesn't matter what happens to the knife. If you send it into them with $15, they will do a complete spa service on it, make it look brand new, blade and handle, and sheath for that matter, and the box. Say you buy a used Bark River and the guy doesn't have the box, or the sheath's all messed up or something, just send that in, say, hey, I just want a new sheath, new box, clean up the knife and all that, and it'll come back to you looking brand spanking new. So that's actually a really good way to hunt down some good deals on knives and then get a brand new knife, essentially, for $15 extra. Plus, just $5 more if you send in a second or more knives. So it's really only to cover the cost of shipping. They're doing it basically for free. So anyway, what I'm going to do, since my buddy has lent me this knife for so long, and I've really used it, it's probably kind of dull. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's... It needs a fresh facelift over at Bark River. So I'm sending this guy in. John, thank you again so much for letting me borrow it. I really appreciate it, man. But, I told you not to leave it here. And this is what happens when you leave sick knives at my place. I want to use them for a while. So thanks so much, guys. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please do like this video if you did. And I'll see you next time on Jimbo TV for a Case Tony Bose collab knife. Stay tuned.